Hey, this is Kim Ball from Deliberate Movement, and today we're talking about energy. This is the second in our energy video series, and the topic for today is nourishment. Okay, pretty obvious topic, just like last week's movement topic, but it still should be talked about because, like I said last week, we have an epidemic of stressed out, comatose, zombie like people with no will to live and no energy, and it's just something that needs to be remedied if you want to remedy it. But one way to go about it is through nourishment, okay? And how do we nourish our bodies? Well, one of the first ways that I can think of, especially because there's a substance that's the most abundant substance in our bodies, water. That's something that we should be supplying ourselves on a regular basis. In fact, why don't I drink a little right now? You can too. I mean, there are a huge amount of people out there in modern society who are walking around dehydrated all the time. Okay, not getting enough water because they're not drinking water and because they're also drinking substances that dehydrate you. Coffee drinks, sodas definitely dehydrate you. Some energy drinks because they have that caffeine. Sugary juices and beverages don't do anything to hydrate you. Okay, a lot of people are drinking something after a workout or after a long day. Oh, I'm just trying to rehydrate, but they're not drinking water that rehydrates you. Okay, so we need to actually drink water. There's no substitute for that. Now, when you're dehydrated, there are a lot of things that can go wrong in your body. Your body doesn't function as well when you're hydrated, okay? Hormonal systems don't function as well. Digestive system doesn't function as well. You can get massive headaches. You can have, your muscle tissue doesn't function as well. So the water, everybody knows about it, but let's start drinking a little bit more, okay? That's probably the number one thing. Second thing, we need to choose foods that are alive versus dead, okay? What's the difference? Isn't food food? Well, no, food that is alive is vibrant in color. It's full of flavor. It makes your body feel good. You can taste the difference, okay? It doesn't have any chemicals or pesticides in it. It has vitamins and minerals and enzymes with which to digest all those vitamins and minerals and nutrients, okay? A lot of us are out there eating fake, artificial food, processed foods, foods with fillers and additives and chemicals, foods that really last forever. And that's not really one tip I can tell you is anything that spoils quickly is much better for your body because it's alive. It has the nutritive value that your body needs, that it wants to extract from that food in order to provide you energy. Again, we're talking about energy, okay? And while we're doing that, why don't I grab another glass of water? One thing a lot of people say is the closer that a food is to its natural state, the healthier it is for you. So that's something that you can think of when you're picking out your choices in the store, okay? Is it something that was mass-produced and looks like it doesn't have very much color? And, if you're choosing your vegetables and fruits, it's super cheap because they just threw it in the field with a bunch of pesticides and it grew up like wildfire and they're able to keep prices low. Is it a processed food that was made with some sort of form of corn, which is subsidized by the government, so super cheap? Or is it something that might be a little more expensive, but is more nourishing for your body and something that's going to provide you with energy? We need to eat for energy, okay? Not just for desire. There's a time and a place for that. But a couple ways we can do this. We can either eat the choices that we find give us energy, give us liveliness, give us vitality, make us feel good, don't make us sluggish, make us actually up on a natural high. We can find that out through trial and error, okay, by actually tapping into how do I feel after I eat this food, not just eating and not being aware. We can also eat nourishing foods in order to provide ample fuel for our body in order to do all of those energizing activities that we need to do throughout the day, okay? The movement we talked about, the responsibilities, the work. We need to provide some fuel for ourselves, okay? But we don't need to be so strict, though. We need to eat for pleasure, too. If there's something that my year-long trip to Europe provided for me, it was that realization from other cultures that food is a very pleasurable thing, okay? There's no need for us to take out all of the stuff that's not considered good for you, okay? The baked goods, the pizzas, the cakes, the alcoholic beverages, okay? We can indulge in those things. We can take pleasure out of them. We can have that experience of food being a nice factor for us. But I just don't want people to have it as this comforting thing that kind of masks all of the lack of energy that they have in their lives, okay? On a normal basis, let's eat for energy, and then sometimes let's go out and experience the pleasure of food. So the lessons I want you to think about from today are, I want you to be aware of how food affects you, okay? If you want, you can keep a journal, write down how things affect you. The healthiest people know what foods bother them, what foods make them sluggish, and what foods make them thrive. Typically choose those foods that provide you the most energy and make you thrive. Take the time to experience the pleasure of food, no matter if it's healthy or unhealthy, just not every day, and hydrate, okay? So these were obvious tips, the movement from last week, the nutrition and nourishment from this week, but it's still not actively being practiced in our society today, so that's why I'm still talking about it, okay? And the next couple lessons that we're going to have aren't as obvious, and hopefully they'll help you to keep up that energy so that you can enjoy your life and not just survive it, okay? Kimball from Deliberate Movement, deliberatemovementlbc.com is where you can find me, and I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.